Okay, today I'm going to talk about how I repaired a window regulator assembly out of a 2007 Dodge Caliber. Now, the problem that generally happens with these is, see if I can get a close up here for you. These tabs on the will break off, and when they do, of course, that is not going to go up and down the post like it should. Now over here I have a, there we go. I have a shot of one that I repaired, and as you can see, I put a couple of screws in, and then with some epoxy to see if I can get better focus for you. There we go. Put a couple of screws in, and with some epoxy to make sure that the epoxy didn't necessarily just have to adhere to the plastic part, and with the screws screwed down into the base of the slider, and then the epoxy applied on top of all of that securely holds the tabs in place. Now, in order to do that, I used a very small drill, and then I got some very small screws. Get a picture of that. Okay, it's not cooperating. There we go. Very small screw that's small enough to go, as you can see, in there, and not spread the tabs apart too wide. Now, in order to get all that started, I use super glue to glue the tabs in place. And if you notice, there's another hole in the in between the two tabs. For that, I used a screw and washer to hold the slider up and down on the post securely while I was putting the tabs back in place. Now, then I applied epoxy on top of the tabs and the screw. Now, the type of epoxy that I used was the solar cured epoxy that they use to repair surfboards. So it's very strong, and you place it on the part, and then lay the part in the sun for about 10 minutes, and it gets hard as a rock. Now, over here is the tab, which has not been broken off. So you can see how the original tabs are. Now, I'm going to be reinforcing these tabs to make sure that they don't break in the future. Okay, I've drilled the holes in the base of the slider. Not sure if you can see where. You can see the hole down in there. It's kind of centered down in that little pocket. Then I put the screw in like so. Next I will put some epoxy on top of the screws and tabs to lock it all into place. Now, I'm doing it on this side to reinforce these tabs. And this solar res you can buy from Amazon. It's originally developed to repair fiberglass surfboards. It's very strong and durable. And you place it on there and then place it out into the sunlight for about 10 minutes. Then it'll be fully cured. Okay, here it is with the solar res placed on it. I guess you can see it. It's the solar res is clear epoxy, and now we'll place it out in the sun. And when you know, as soon as I put the solar res on the slider, the sun decides to go behind the clouds, so I don't have any direct sunlight. So I got out my UV light that's used for curing UV curable epoxies and placed it on it. And in about 10 minutes or so, we should be nice and cured. Now, while we're waiting on that, I might say that this UV epoxy is similar to that used by dentists to fill cavities in a tooth. Now, theirs is medical grade, and it is also a little bit different formula that's actually even stronger than this, although this cures out quite strong. Okay, now we can see the finished product. I'm using a UPS battery, 12 volt, and some jumpers. I'll just show the one side so that okay, almost run it off the end, which would not be a good thing to do. Okay, so there you have it. Grease up this channel along here with some lubricant of some sort. Be sure to get around on the back side where the slider, as you can see, how the slider will slide down, and you should be good to go.